If I had to take the Duolingo English test tomorrow, the first thing I would do is watch no other video besides this one. No quick tips, no vocabulary, no nothing. That's because you can't waste any time. You have your test tomorrow. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a 3-hour study plan. I'm going to take you step by step through exactly what you're going to do. And I'm also going to share some free websites you can use to help you get your Duolingo English test score as quickly and as easily as possible. So you don't have any time to waste. Let's start with the study plan. The first step is to take a Duolingo English test practice test. Now the reason you want to do this is because you want to get used to the question types. You don't have to remember all the question types, there's a bunch of them and it can be a little confusing. The most important thing for you to know is to get used to what to expect on test day, how the questions will look, and how it'll feel to answer these questions and go through the test. The first website you should go to is the official website of the Duolingo English test. I think most of you have been there already. They give you a shortened version of the test to practice and give you a general score. I actually think it might be better to do a test on YouTube or on a site like Arno for DET. Now, why YouTube? YouTube is good because you can get a complete practice test, the feeling of a complete practice test, and I'll put a link in the description below to that, which is the same length as the Duolingo English test. I think it's really important to get used to the time. The other thing you can do is you can go to Arno. You can make a free account and you can get a graded test back. It's a complete test that you get graded on your speaking and writing, and I'll put a link in the description below to that. I think it's like $10 or a little less than that even, and it's great to get feedback on your test. The reason for that, which I will get to later, is you can know your strengths and weaknesses. So when you do a practice test, make sure that you follow the test conditions. That's really important, that if you only have 5 seconds to answer a question, give yourself 5 seconds. Don't break the rules of the time because you want to get used to how the test will feel, and you won't be able to do that if you're not following the test conditions. So for example, read and select, make sure that you only have 5 seconds to answer the question. For the listening, the interactive listening, get used to listening only once and then trying to find the correct answer, just like on the test. For speaking, record your voice so you can listen back to it later and see your strengths and weaknesses. And for writing, again, make sure you write following the test conditions and you don't have spell check. There's no spell check on test day. So you want to get used to how the test is going to feel so you can get a good grade and a good idea of what to expect tomorrow. Now, the second step is one of the most important steps, and it might surprise you. It is to take a 15-minute break. That's right. You've just taken a test for an hour. You're tired. You're probably, you want to get this over with. Take a break, relax, because these next 2 steps are really important. And if you're not in the right frame of mind, if you're not patient, you're not going to be able to do them. So take a 15-minute break. Welcome back from your break, and let's go to step number 3, which is to check your answers. Now, checking your answers can be a bit tricky. The reading and listening will be pretty simple. You'll just have an answer key and you could check if you got it right or wrong. I wouldn't worry about your score because it's hard to know what your score is. Duolingo doesn't tell us how they score your response, but just focus on what you got right and wrong. Now, speaking and writing will be a little bit trickier to grade. Here are a couple of suggestions and a couple of sites that are both free and paid. The first one is Elsa's Speech Analyzer. This is for speaking. You can get your Duolingo English test speaking responses analyzed. You just put the recording and they'll give you feedback on it and tell you your strengths and weaknesses. Again, don't worry about the score. Just worry about what it's telling you can do better. You can also put your writing into Grammarly. You can get some free feedback on your writing about the spelling and the grammar. And you can also do AI rewrite, where they rewrite part of your essay to make it a bit stronger, a bit more sophisticated. I already mentioned Arno for DET. They have a lot of free stuff, but you can do a paid test where you get feedback on your speaking and writing. You can't do a lot with the feedback since your test is tomorrow, but at least you can know some of your big mistakes. So that's really, really important. So that's basically the third step, is to get feedback on your test. Know what questions you got right, what questions you got wrong, and what you can do better tomorrow, which leads to the last step of the study plan, which is really, really important because this is how you're going to improve your score. But before I do that, please check out tsdprep.com. We have free practice questions for the Duolingo English test, and we also have the emergency practice pack, which has everything you need in one place: courses, practice activities. If you have more than a day, if you're studying for more time, you can check us out there at tsdprep.com. Make your free account today. The last step of your study plan is to review confusing parts. Now, I'm going to show you how to do this with and without a teacher. So of course, with a teacher, you go to TSD Prep and you ask questions like, I didn't understand question 2, my speaking score was low, what can I do better next time? But you can also use ChatGPT. Now, I wouldn't use ChatGPT to generate questions to practice because I've tried it and it's not so great right now. And even some of the tips they give you, I would be a little careful with some of them, but it can help you a little bit. If you just ask like the question type, read and select Duolingo English test tips, I would put that into ChatGPT and see what it tells you. So you can get some more information about your specific strengths and weaknesses. So this last hour of the study plan is you checking details, checking things like this question type was confusing, I'm not sure what to do here. This speaking question, I got a really low score, what can I do better next time to get better? So you want to ask some of those questions to get a more accurate idea of how to help you improve. So you have some free websites like Grammarly, Elsa, and Arno. You have a step-by-step study plan. You are ready to prepare for your test tomorrow. Good luck, and let me know how it goes in the comments. I try to respond to all of them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.